All right. I just realized I didn't shut my bedroom door, so I'm going to run and shut that just so I don't have any kid interruptions. But I'm Christy, and I'm with Ergobaby, and I'm going to talk to you today about all of our Ergobaby products and getting your baby on. I just realized I didn't shut my bedroom door, so I'm going to run and shut that just so I don't have any kid interruptions. But I'm Christy, and I'm with Ergobaby, and I'm going to talk to you today about all of our Ergobaby products and getting your baby All right. There, sorry about the echo. I had the stage up because I was watching Goodbye Gear on another tab. So here we are. I'm so excited to talk to you. I love Ergobaby. I have been wearing Ergobaby products for almost 15 years, and I've been working with them as a brand ambassador, and I do customer care, and I run our Facebook group. So I love like all the Ergobaby family. So I'm so happy to be here. We are known probably the most for our buckle carriers, but we have some really great other options as well. So we are going to start, I'm going to just show off our first carrier. So if you're not familiar with our Ergobaby brand, this is our Ergobaby original carrier. And this one has been redesigned a little bit the last couple of years, but it's pretty close to what our original design was. And this is the original here. I'll back up a little bit. So our originals fit from birth with a infant insert to 45 pounds. And for reference, my 5-6-year-old is just like 50 pounds. He's 6. I forget how old he is. So they can really last you well into toddlerhood. The infant insert will work with the original, and it will also work with our 360 all positions carrier. So both of those carriers will need that for the first 4 to 6 months of life. And if you have a carrier, like we know a lot of people get them as hand-me-downs or get them from sibling sisters. And if you're like, I don't know what carrier my carrier is, do I need an infant insert? What you can do is you can look on the inside of the waistband. And if there's Velcro here, you don't need one. So there's no Velcro here, so it's going to need an infant insert. So I'll give a quick demo of this. All of our carriers, our newer models, all have this lower back support, which I really love. I think the lower back support, it gives good counter pressure. And I find that when you are ready to face forward, that lower back support is also great because, you know, as our postpartum bodies are changing, it's a great little like extra support on our bellies. So when we're putting the carrier on, let's see, it says I'm cutting in and out. All right, let me know if it still is happening, and I can try to see if I can just restart. But I think, let me know. So we always want to go through the safety buckle. The reason for that is if we don't get the snap in all the way, sometimes I get stuck in the sweater, it will pop out. So if it doesn't click, we got it. All right. Thank you for letting me know. So our carriers are meant to be worn at the top of your hips, kind of by your natural waist, not really up high in a front carry position. However, if you're short-toed like me, you don't have a lot of real estate on your body to work with. So it's going to look a little bit different for each person, each person's body, and what size your baby is. So if you have the original and you have the infant insert, let me grab that. Our newer inserts can actually clip onto the carrier, and they can stay on the carrier. If you have, again, if you've had a hand-me-down from somebody or you've gotten it secondhand, some of our older ones, you want them to always, they're going to look like this, maybe a little bit more bulky, but those ones you can actually, you're going to put your baby in it, and they have a snap across the body. You'll snap that, and then every time you're going to put baby like this and put it in. But since we're working with the Easy Snug, which is our latest model, we're going to clip it in. So I'm going to put this top piece here, goes around the strap. And I'm going to loosen. We always want to prepare the carrier before we get baby up and try to get baby in. So I'm loosening my straps as I clip this in. So this will stay in your carrier for the first 3 to 4 months for the whole insert. And then when baby gets big enough that they have some neck and neck and head support where they can kind of hold their head up on their own, you can take the pillow out and use just the pillow. For the other options. So the original and the 360 all positions are going to be worn what we call backpack style, but our Adapt and our Omni 360 can do an X across your back, which I find can be, I don't want to say more supportive, it's a different type of support for parents that might have some back issues or limited mobility where they can't reach up and grab that back strap. So I've got this all on right here. My demo doll is about 4 pounds, so probably a little, but I would say too big for the entire insert. But for the sake of demonstrating, I'm gonna grab her free. So now that I have this all clipped in, and this will stay on, it's not gonna go anywhere. And you might find if you are short torsoed like me, you might have to wear that waistband a little bit lower just to get the whole insert in the carrier. So I'm gonna leave one side up, I'm gonna grab my baby. And then, see, my strap is flipped. I'm gonna lead baby into the side of the carrier here. And I'll turn here so you can see what's going on. So baby is in a nice seated position on the little pillow part of the insert. And when I'm done here, I'll just kind of give you a show from the front what that will look like. So I'm gonna put this other strap on. The reason I leave my straps loose when I'm first putting this on is that then I can reach up behind my neck and I can reach this chest clip here. So then, since our straps are loose, and I'll turn around so you can see what I'm doing here, I'm going to hold this and put the slack over my shoulder, and then I'm gonna grab that and pull it down. And I'm gonna do the same here, slack over the shoulder, pull it around, and pull it down. So there we go, I'll back up so you can see the whole carrier here. So now I've got baby in the insert. This insert will work with the original and with the 360 all positions. We also have an Omni 360, so I want to make sure there's a little confusion there sometimes, but the 360 all positions, which does allow forward facing, the original does not. They both will need the insert till 3 or 4 months for the whole insert and like 6, 7 months for the pillow to make sure baby is supported. We want them knee to knee. And what that means is we want baby to be able to be like seated on the end of a chair where they can kick freely with their legs, but their legs aren't splayed out too far. And that's what the insert does. It gives them that nice froggy seat and it gives them the head support until they're able to hold their head up. So then just take it off. We're gonna loosen. And then so that when we loosen it, it's gonna let that strap come back up. I'm gonna go just clip it. And then we're gonna take baby out. So that is our original carrier. That's what most people know us by. I have a question about replacement straps. So we do have replacement buckles. If you email customer care, that's support@ergobaby.com. Depending on what buckle it is, we may be able to replace it for you. Unfortunately, we can't replace the straps or anything on the carrier that would need to be sewn in. But if you have any questions, emailing customer care, they're super great. They'll take care of you and see if we can help you out. So all of our carriers are machine washable. I'm gonna move this down just a little bit here. All of our carriers are machine washable. You can throw them in a pillowcase if you don't want them clinking around in your machine, or like a lingerie bag or a mesh bag. And then I recommend, if you can, air drying them. Just the heat from the dryer, even on low, can help break down the plastic on the buckles, which is gonna just lower the lifespan of your carrier. So if you can, hang dry, but you can also put it in the dryer. Usually I say like 20 minutes on low and then hang dry for the rest. So then we're going to go to, this is our Omni. This is our latest carrier that we've come out with in the buckle style carriers. And the Omni does like the best of all the things, I think. It allows facing out. It doesn't need an infant insert. And again, to reiterate, how do you know if it needs an infant insert or not? You look at the waistband here. If it has Velcro on the waistband that it adjusts, it does not need an infant insert. It can be worn from birth, from 7 pounds. So if this, when you first get this out of box, or it's gonna be on this setting. It should come If you're buying it new at a store, you should get it this all set up in the infant way. So you wouldn't have to do much to set it up. When you also get it, this head pillow, which is on the outside right now for me, this is going to be on the inside. And just like our infant insert has this supportive head pillow here, that's what this is doing here. It's going to support baby's head and their neck. And then about 3 or 4 months, you can move it to the outside. All right, there's that. So when we have baby facing in, we want this is the mesh, and on the mesh there's sliders. On the Omni 360 and the 360 all positions, there are buttons, and they're underneath like a little flap on your carrier. I like the mesh because the sliders are on the outside, so you don't forget them. So to face baby out, you're going to slide these here. But these are only going to be on the inside for facing out. All right. So I'm going to put this one on for you as well. I always put mine on at the side or in front so I can see my buckle and make sure everything is going on. I'm going to go through the safety elastic. So all of our carriers can be worn with baby facing in a hip carry and a back carry. And then the Omni 360 and the 360 all positions, baby can face out. So again, I'm going to loosen my straps. I'm going to get them ready for baby. Now, some of our carriers cross the straps, and the way you're going to know if they can cross straps or not is where the buckles from the straps are. So these buckles are on the body of the carrier, and on the original, they are on the shoulder straps. So you wouldn't be able to reach back to clip them to cross. So that's a little pro tip if you have a carrier that you've gotten from somebody else and you're not sure if you can face or if you can cross the straps or not, is to look where the clips are on the shoulder straps on the body. So I have my straps ready. I'm gonna grab my baby. And actually, I feel like this is a little loose, so give me 1 second. I'm gonna make this just a little bit tight. There we go. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna grab baby here, and I'm gonna put them at the base of the carrier. I like to pull this up to the nape of baby's neck. That way I know that they're gonna be where I need them, where I want the carrier to be on their body. And if I need to at that point, I can move this up a little bit to create a deeper seat, which is gonna pull that panel down a little bit on their head. Nape of baby's neck, arm straps go through. I can definitely do a hip carry after I show this. So the same way we did with the original is with my straps being loose, I can reach this chest clip here. And actually this, I'm going to show this right here because I didn't do it with the original. This piece, this is we call the chest clip or chest strap, even though it's on our backs, it can move. So when you first get it, a lot of times it will be up high up here. And if you wear it, it's going to put a lot of pressure on your neck and on like your upper back right here. So you might need someone to help you adjust it to get that perfect fit the first time you put it on. But once it's there, you don't have to move it anymore. So I'm going to put it here. I'm going to be able to reach up and clip it. And then again, threading that slack over and around, and you can hold it under your arm if you need to pull that. And the reason I thread that slack, this is my pro tip because I didn't know this as a new parent, is I would just adjust. And when you look here and I adjust like this, it gets really snug and tight here on the top of baby's back and on their neck. But my strap is still pretty loose. So the reason I thread it around is that I'm actually taking that slack out of the strap and making it more comfortable for me while not getting too tight on baby. So this is the mesh. A lot of people in really humid climates really like the mesh. They say it's much more breathable. The canvas I prefer myself, but I'm in Colorado where it's pretty dry, so I don't feel that humidity in the same way. I haven't noticed a huge difference for me, but I know in my friends that live in Florida that have an Omni, she said, hands down, the mesh is much cooler. But I think it's a personal preference. You might like the way the mesh feels, you might like the way the canvas feels, but it's really going to be what you think and what you like. And my pro tip on all baby carriers, whether it's an Ergo or another brand or another style, is get a carrier that you think is pretty or attractive, because if you like it, you're more likely to wear it. Just if that's something that's important to you. So now that I have my straps adjusted to me, I'm gonna reach my hands in here, and I put my hands at the top of baby's diaper, and I will scoop their butt and really get it into that nice deep seat of the carrier. So you can see the seat is really filled out with baby's butt and their body. And their hands can be down here, they can be here, they can be up at their face. We just want to be able to see baby's mouth and their nose. We want baby to be close enough to kiss. So we're good. We have lots of different prints and colors available. It's going to depend if you're wanting mesh or canvas. And if you go to our website, ergobaby.com, there's a drop-down tab for shop, and you can see everything that's available on our website. So this is here. I don't know if you can see where that. See, my strap is actually really low. It's like in the middle of my shoulders. And that's really what we want. We want our back to look like an H with the shoulder straps and the cross strap. So if your strap's up too high, it can really put some pressure points and cause headaches. So if you're just not getting that great fit, if you join the group, I put the link that's pinned above. You can post a picture and I will help you. I will help you get a good fit. You can also email customer care and they will help you too if you don't want to post in the group. So to get baby off, we're going to loosen these straps. Our chest clip comes back up. And then we can take it off. So while I still have this on, I'll show you how to do a hip carry. So to do a hip carry here, we're gonna do, so our straps on the Omni are a little bit different than our original. They have a middle piece that you're gonna pull up with your finger as you pinch. So I'm gonna undo the carrier, and then I'm actually gonna pull these so they're pretty much towards the end. And do the other side. All right. So, and if you are going to do a cross straps or hip carry, what I like to do is sometimes this is actually a pretty long strap for the chest clip. So what I recommend doing is pushing this down, and then all of our straps have this little elastic on the end, and I'll show you. It's kind of magical what it does. So we're going to roll this up. And then we're going to put this elastic up over to hold that strap in place. And I like doing it for that reason, because when especially with this one, when I'm throwing it across my back and trying to clip sometimes, it keeps that out of the way so I'm not grabbing the wrong strap. So the first thing I'm going to do is the strap that needs to go, in the Omni in particular, you don't have to pre-clip both X's, you can. But I like to do this first one, and we're crossing it in the same way we would if we were crossing our back, but we're going to do it across our body. So I'm going to move this to the side. Oops, as I unbuckle, I'm going to move this down just a little bit here. Okay. So the hip carry, it's going to, whatever side you have it on, it's going to cross your shoulder on the opposite side. So it's one way to remember to do that. And then this one is going to go across your back below and go around. So I'm going to do it like this first. And we have this, so we have this side up, this one over. And then I'm going to bring this strap around my body and clip. All right. So there's that. I'm going to grab my baby. And it, depending on what size your baby is, if they're a little on the smaller side, you might want them a little bit in the front, and that's okay. And if you have a bigger or a toddler, you can put them like full on your hip. It's really going to be a preference for you and where you feel comfortable with baby being on your body. Let me grab my baby. I'm going to put them up on my shoulder, and I'm going to put my hand up through underneath this, the webbing, to get baby down in here. And I'll just kind of guide them in and let gravity take them. Once I have them in, then I can tighten this on my body. So I'm going to start here since my hand is right there. And I'm going to bring that slack all the way around and give it a nice little tug. And then I'm going to do the same here. Pull that slack. And we're going to do here. So you might find if you're doing this long term, It's okay if it's on your neck, but again, there's a lot of pressure points there, so you can cap it on your shoulder. It does immobilize your shoulder a little bit, so you might find that it might be easier to grab something if you're wearing it and then pull this back, and that's fine. But that's the hip carry, so you're just crossing it across your body. It looks a little, I remember the first time I saw someone do it, and I was like, are they doing that right? But it looks a little funky. It's a great option. You don't have to use it. It's just more tools in the toolbox. I find that it worked for me really well when I had my first, and then I was pregnant with my second. And my first really wanted to be worn, so I got to wear, but I also had my pregnancy belly then, and it gave me that support that I needed. I was able to do a hip carry, but I still, and baby was, you know, my youngest or my oldest felt like he was more on front. He didn't like being on the back that much at first. So it's a nice tool in the toolbox. See, I'm just making sure I'm not missing anything here. So yeah, and all of our carries can be in a hip carry. The Omni 360, 360 all positions, and the original can all be worn in a hip carry. So then to take baby off, I'm gonna loosen this, loosen this side, and then we can get baby out, and there we go. All right, so now that I've showed you our buckle carriers, I really want to show you our Aura wrap. I love a wrap for a newborn. The Aura is similar to most other stretchy wraps on the market, but I love it. I think they're great for newborn snuggles. I had a question that I saw pop up about wearing with C-sections. They're a really great option for C-section mamas because they are going to keep baby up off that scarage, whereas a lot of our buckle carriers, since they're made to be worn a little bit lower, they can get in the way a little bit. So having the wrap is a great option. So when you first get this, I feel like it can feel a little intimidating because it's just a long piece of fabric, slightly stretchy, but I promise you at the end of this, you will not be intimidated. We have all of our videos are on our website under the instructions tab. So you can go directly to our website if you're a visual learner or you walk away today and you need a little extra encouragement, just go to our website and you can find all of our videos for every carrier we have are right on there. So it's long, there's a lot to it. Some of ours have a print on one side and are plain on the other. Some are all just one color. So we're going to break it down into 3 steps. 3. You can do it. I promise. We're going to find this. This is what we call the middle marker. This is the middle of our wrap. So we're going to roll this up. I like to roll it up. It keeps it out of the way for me. And then I'm going to cross this across my back. And I'm just doing it one at a time. Just crossing here, pulling it up over my shoulder. And I'll turn to the other side so you can see it. And then we cross it up over my shoulder. That's step 1. That's it. Super easy, right? When I get it on, the first thing I do before I go to step 2 is I just want to make sure in that process of bringing it over my shoulder, I didn't flip it. It's easy to see with a printed wrap, but if you didn't have a printed wrap, the way you can do it is to like a washing the back. So I'm just going to scrub, and then I'm going to scrub my back. And if it moves like this, it means it's not twisted. So that's all you have to do. The other thing that you can look for if you have one of our wraps that doesn't have a print on it is you can check the inside seam here is black and the other seam is light. It's like a light gray. And all of our wraps have different color edges on the top and on the bottom. So you can always do a little double check on this hem. And if the blacks are on the inside or the grays, depending on which way you do it, you're good to go. All right, so step 1, we cross the back. Step 2, we cross the front. So we're just gonna ball this up and put it through. And then we're gonna cross it. And that's it. That's the whole carrier. So what I noticed is a lot of new parents, they make it too loose because they don't want to be too tight on baby. But since these are stretchy, we want to make it pretty snug. you want it to feel like a fitted t-shirt. So what I'm going to do is I notice that this is actually my outside piece is pretty loose. So I'm just going to pull some of that slack around and through. And then I'm going to cross it. Where do we cross it? I'm going to grab her. This is going to look different for you depending on your body type, your baby size. But I'm going to grab my baby to show you where I need to do. So we want baby to be close enough to kiss. So I'll find where I want baby to be on my body. Good position for me. And this is where baby's butt is. So that's where I'm going to cross the cross for baby's butt. If baby's a little bit smaller, I might end up crossing it higher. If baby's a little bit bigger, I might do a little bit lower. But on my body, right here is where I'm going to do it. So cross. So and that's it. So cross the back first, cross the front, and then you tie it. If you have a lot of extra, these are meant to be kind of a one size fits all. They fit all shapes, sizes, and you can tie it in the front if you want. I recommend when you're first starting to tie it in the back or on the side. And the reason for this is you've got a lot going on in the front, and having the knot up front just adds to it. So I recommend when you're first starting, just tie it, just double knot, reef knot, and we're done. That was step 2. Step 3 is putting the baby in. So I'm going to look, before I grab my baby, I'm going to look at which part of my cross is on the inside, which is this one. And I'm going to put baby on the opposite shoulder. I'm going to pick baby up. I'll put them in a nice high burping position. I'll bring my hand through. And if you notice that with this, I'm not spreading this out until I get baby in the carrier. And the reason is that it's easier to put this around baby's foot than to try to pull baby through all of that fabric. So I keep it pretty snugged up like this until I have baby in. All right, so here you can see baby's sitting here in the X of the carrier before I pull this out. So again, I'm going to go to the inside piece. I'm going to pull it to the nape of baby's neck, past the width of the butt, and I like to pull it knee to knee. And then I'm going to do it on the other side. Nape of baby's neck, knee to knee. If you have a brand new baby and they have their little legs all curled up, that's fine. It's hard to do with this demo doll because it's big. But if they have their legs up, that's fine. Just do it the width of baby's butt and just make sure their feet are still up out of the sides and they're not sitting out. We want all of the weight to be on baby's butt. In a stretchy wrap, I don't recommend a cradle position. We want baby to be tummy to tummy and heart to heart and close enough to kiss. And it's hard to do that in a stretchy wrap because they don't give the support on a newborn's body in the same way that, say, like a ring sling or a woven wrap might do. And you can definitely do it in those, but I wouldn't recommend in a stretchy wrap. It's just not as supportive. So then I'm going to take this third piece here and pull this up. With stretchy wraps, because of the stretch, it's really important to get that third piece up over the body of the carrier. All of our carriers start at a minimum weight of 7 pounds. So the wrap is 7 pounds to 25 pounds. And 25 pounds is about 12 to 18 months, depending on your size of baby. I think that many people find after the first 5-6 months, they want to go then into another carrier. And that's great. If you like wrapping and you're comfortable wrapping, wrap until the day is long. Wrap until your baby's a year old. But this is such a great newborn snuggles. There's not a lot of fabric. There's not a lot of bulk of the straps. And so the next thing I'm going to do is, do you see how my baby's face here is covered? We want to be able to see baby's mouth and their nose. I want to make sure that their chin is parallel to the floor. And that way they don't block off their airway. So what I would do on this side, if my baby was really curled in here, is I'm going to cap this on my shoulder. And then you can cap it 2 ways. You can either pull it down from the top, or you can flip it. And I find that flipping it, I think it looks pretty, but it's also a little more functional. But whichever way works for you is great. Also, if your baby is sleeping, you're going for a walk, you can always put a little bit on their head to support them, but you don't have to. And then I'm going to pull this down on this side to pull all that slack out. So, and like I said, with C-section mamas, this whole area is not covered. It's also great if you're working from home, as many of us probably are. that you're able to sit down. You don't have the bulk of these. I love the support of these waistbands, but they're pretty bulky if you're trying to sit with them. So it's nice with this. There's no bulk on your belly, on your midsection. So you can sit, you can do your work, you can walk out of the way. Let's see. I don't know that I would say that they're more breathable. I think that they feel lighter. So maybe more breathable. But the thing about wraps, which is nice, is that they are very supportive, especially for those newborn snuggles. And you don't feel, I know like for me, I didn't like to have a lot of layers on when I was baby wearing. So I could wear just like a tank top underneath this, or you could go skin to skin if you want to do that. And you're pretty covered up. And our carriers are really, our wraps, they're pretty light. I think they're pretty breathable, but it will vary depending on different brands. So we're going to take baby out. Pull down this. I'm going to pull out the sides, and we can take baby out. The other really nice thing about the wrap is that you can pre-tie this at home. So you don't have to be out at your doctor's office in the parking lot or grocery shopping and be tying this. You can tie this at your house, or even as it gets close to winter, you can tie this in your house on your shirt. You can put your coat over it, and then you can put baby in and out, and you don't have to worry about doing this out in public. It's also nice. I find that some mamas like to, when their babies fall asleep, they'll tie it on. So that way when baby wakes up and they're doing something around the house, they can put baby in and be all like snuggly with baby, but they didn't have to tie it once baby was awake and wanted attention. I promise wraps aren't as hard. I was very intimidated them as a first-time mom, and they're one of my hands-down favorite newborn carriers. My other quick pro tip, I'll put baby in here for a second, on wraps. Baby back in. Is if baby does have a blowout, because I know that was mentioned earlier on one of the buckle carriers. So we've got baby in here. So baby's in, baby has a blowout. We need to get it off, right? Instead of having to unpeel everything, we can just swim our arm through, and then we can pull this down and pull baby out. So all of that mess would be contained here. You're still gonna have to get it off you. You can also do this if you are out on the go in a parking lot and you're ready to take the wrap off for the day. Do that so it's all contained on your waist so it's not gonna fall on the ground, and then you can pull it off. And then I recommend untying that knot before you put it away. Our wraps all have a sewn-in pocket so you don't lose it with a little handle. So to get it in, some people like to fold it and make it fancy. I just shove it in here. I'm just gonna pick up this whole piece. There we go. So it stores all in this nice little pocket that's sewn on the side. If you have any questions about washing, wearing, weight, all of that is printed right here on the wrap too. So you don't have to go looking for it online. It's all right here. And that's the same with all our other carriers. If you're looking for washing instructions, warranty information, anything like that, it's all on our carriers. All right, so now we're gonna get to my second favorite newborn carrier, which is the Embrace. The Embrace is kind of the best of both worlds. If you like the idea of a snuggly wrap, but you're intimidated by the wrap, the Embrace is a great option because it's hard to see, but this is a little bit of stretch. It's a little bit thicker than the wrap. Still got those straps that are like a wrap strap. And the Embrace can be worn from 7 pounds to 25 pounds. So again, 12 to 18 months. And then you can move up to an Omni or an Original and you can just move on. But I really like the Embrace because it kind of grows with baby. So if you're looking at this carrier and you're not sure what to do, we have the instructions. It's hard to see with that glare printed here. So we can look and it'll tell you what size baby should be for the newborn setting versus the baby setting. So we're gonna hold it like this. I'm gonna do the newborn setting. So we're doing it what we call apron style. Since it's a smaller waist, it's gonna feel, when you first get it, you're gonna put it with the logo facing you, but it's gonna feel like it's upside down at first. So for the newborn setting, we're gonna flip it twice. And by doing that, we're gonna shorten the panel, but we're also able to adjust the seat to our size of our baby. Now, unlike our other buckle carriers, the other thing about the Embrace is really great is that you can wear it anywhere on your body. It's actually meant to be worn up high. So you're gonna get a really great, nice, snuggly fit for your newborn. So again, we have lower back, or we don't have a lower back support on this one, but we have the buckle, goes through the safety elastic, clip, and then I pull this all the way through. Yeah, the Brace is such a nice in-between. It's gonna give you a little bit of the support of a buckle carrier, but the feel of a wrap. And they're just really snuggly and soft. So now that I've got that here, I can move this the width of baby's butt so baby can be seated with legs out in the carrier. I'm gonna grab my baby. I'm gonna put this to the nape of baby's neck, and we're gonna cross the straps on this one. So I'm gonna put this strap over my back. And my pro tip on this is to pull straight down and then cross your back. And the reason for that is if you pull it straight across and you cross it up here, you're gonna get a lot of pressure, again, on your neck and upper back. So we wanna make this the most comfortable for you. And by just pulling this down and over, it's gonna bring that cross down to more centered on your back. So then, if you're familiar with our other carriers, which you might be, which our buckles are on the panel. This one is actually on its own little wing on the inside. I'm gonna clip that there. All right, and then I'm going to do this one over my shoulder. I'm gonna pull and cross and clip. And then baby's arms will go above these buckles here. And then just like I did with all of the other carriers, I want to put my hands in, and I want, again, to kind of scoop and kind of push baby's butt into the seat of the carrier. And then I'm going to, well, before I do that, I should probably just make sure that if you have your straps really long to adjust, you just want to make sure that you have the slack out. I have mine pretty adjusted. So we're going to do this, pull, and cap our shoulders. And that's going to also bring all of that support to be more centered. This is a really, really great option for those newborn snuggles if the wrap is something that you really like the idea of, but it feels like it's too much. This is like the perfect in-between carrier. So we've got that. And then to take it off, we're going to clip. If there's anyone that's just joining, I was going to go back over the Omni just a little bit, but if there's any other carriers that you want to see again, let me know. I'm happy to jump back on another carrier and show you as well. So we're going to bring this down. And we're going to take baby off. So for anyone that has one of our carriers, if you're looking how to store it, you can do this with all of them. I'll show you with the Embrace. We cannot do a hip carry in this one. This one is just for facing in, and you can face baby out in the Embrace as well. So we're gonna do this, and then I'm gonna roll it. And that's actually the reason I'm gonna put the Omni back on is so we can talk a little bit about when baby is ready to face out. All right, so I'm gonna put that down. All right, so when is baby ready to face out in a carrier? You can nurse in all of our carriers. I'm gonna move to face out. We want baby to be able to be on the outside setting. So you're gonna be 5-6 months. And then I have these unbuckled from when we crossed the straps. So I'm going to put this back away. The way backpack style for you here. For nursing in a carrier, what I usually do is I just loosen whatever side I want to nurse on. And I just kind of scooch baby down, and I'll wear, a lot of times I would wear like a tank top with a t-shirt over the top, so I could just pull my t-shirt up and then have my tank top still covered, or a v-neck shirt where I could just pull the V down. But yeah, I can do a little demo. Let me talk about forward facing, and we can talk a little bit about nursing in the carrier. All right, so carrier is prepped again. I'm gonna put this on. Through the safety elastic, pull it through. Now, it's really hard to give a hard and fast rule for when you can face out. I don't want to say if your baby's this tall or this old, because every baby is different. A general, very general rule of thumb is 6 months, like in 6 months clothing, and seated unassisted. And that is for typically developing babies. If your baby is born premature or hasn't met all their developmental milestones, it might look a little bit different, and that's okay. So I don't want to say if your baby's X tall, because some babies have long torsos and short legs, and some babies have long legs and short torsos. So it's really going to be how your baby fits in the carrier. So that's my disclaimer on this. Most babies are ready to face out between 5, 6, 7 months. But it's going to look very different for each baby. They do not need to be sitting unassisted. I know I just said that. But we want them around 6 months. And the reason for that is they have to be able to clear the top of the carrier with their chin. So my demo doll, so they don't need to be seated 6 months, but we want them to have some good core, neck, and head control. So you're gonna know what that looks like for your baby. I'm actually moving these forward for you. So this baby, which is about a 4-ish month old baby, I would guess, is going to be slightly too small to do this. So as you see, not clearing the top, so baby would not be ready. So I'm gonna put baby here. I'm gonna go to the side so you can see. Roll this up to baby. Put my straps. Keep that slack in my hands and clip. And then thread the slack around to the front. Same way. All right, so if my baby was ready, baby would be here. When I get baby in, I'm gonna scoop their hips. I'm always scooping, I feel like, to get them in that nice deep seat. It looks a little bit funny with a doll because their legs jut out a little bit, but it's really, you want them to feel like they're sitting on the edge of like a hammock or a chair with all their weight on their butt with their legs out. We don't want their legs, sometimes I'll see if babies are too small, their legs will sort of be hanging down, and we don't want that. We want their butt fully in that nice deep seat. That's why we designed it. So, like I said, we want them to clear the mouth, and we want them to be able to fit in the carrier the whole way. And then their arms, I want to see their arms here between the two straps. As they get older, some babies will want to kind of put their arms out, and I would caution against it simply because with babies' arms out, they can kind of throw themselves forward, which is going to throw off your center of balance, and it's going to make carrying harder on your body. So we cannot forward face in the original. You can forward face in the Omni 360 and the 360 all positions. Those are the two that we can forward face in. So then to get baby out, loosen my straps, support baby, and I'll reach up with one hand and unclip. So I had a question about breastfeeding. So I will do a quick demo, and this is what we would call a quick switch. So if baby is sitting in the carrier like this, and I start to get sleepy or fall asleep, my one thing about facing out is we do need to face baby back inside. That way we can more accurately watch their mouth, their airways, and just make sure that they're safe. So then I'm gonna do a quick switch, pull baby back around. And you don't have to do this in 10 seconds. It's not a race. You can go slow. Your baby's sleeping. Do your bounce. Do what you need to do to get baby comfortable. And then I'm gonna go back. Clip. I'm going to pre-adjust this for just a sec. And then my quick switch would be, so you can leave it on the forward face setting to quickly switch baby in, and then you can change it. I'm going to scoop this. Again, scoop baby's butt to that nice deep seat. And then I'm going to make sure that my straps are where I want them to be. So I'm going to pull that back around. All right, so I've got baby in. Baby's getting hungry. I want to breastfeed. What I'll do is I'll loosen both straps a little bit, but I'll loosen whatever side I want baby to be on. And you might, if you're short-toasted like me, again, you might have to loosen the bottom. So you can move baby kind of over to that side that you want to nurse. You can pop out or pull shirt up, however you want to do. Nurse baby. You still want to be mindful of their airway. So you're going to want to be able to see your baby's face while you're doing this. And it might take a little bit of practice. For me, I nursed all 3 babies and carriers, and it took me like 3-4 months because breastfeeding or chest feeding and baby wearing are 2 different skills to build. So what we want to do is we want to build our breastfeeding relationship, and we want to build our baby wearing relationship and make sure they're both good before we try to combine them. So the other thing I really like about breastfeeding is all of our carriers have hoods. This one is right here. So a lot of these people will use this if baby's sleeping to help cover up, or when they're really little because we don't put sunscreen on smaller babies. But you can cross this. So instead of going here, we can cross. So we can be a little more discreet if you want to be. But then you can still see what's going on baby from you, but you're being discreet for everybody else. And so I really like that as being able to watch. And it also blocks out all of the kind of noise and lights from baby that helps keep them focused on what they're doing too, because babies get easily distracted. So then when baby's done breastfeeding, we want to make sure we put them back tummy to tummy, close enough to kiss. So I'm going to put that hood away. Now we'll move baby back to center, readjust the panel here. All right, so there we have it, breastfeeding. And if you need help, again, I recommend joining our Facebook group because I'm in there running it. We have several other baby wearing educators who are in there. And if you get it on and you're like, this doesn't feel right, sometimes a few just like tiny adjustments can make all the difference no matter what carrier you're wearing. And I'll even help you if it's a different brand. I won't judge you. You don't have to just show me Ergo carriers. So to get this off, I'm going to adjust. Oops. Sorry, my phone is ringing on my computer. Then we're going to put this down. And then the last thing I want to show you is if you're a little bit more of a seasoned parent and you're here watching anyway, I want you to get something out of this as well. So I will do a quick demo on a back carry. Now back carries is where we do want baby to be at least 6 months and sitting unassisted. We want to make sure that they can support their core and their back so they don't get slumped in the carrier, because you're not going to be able to see that when they're on your back. Again, it is for typically developing babies. If we have some developmental needs or that are different, reach out to me. I will help you find an educator who's close to you who can work with you. There's also babywearinghelp.org. I will plug them because they're super great. They have a list of educators in every state. They have educators all around the world, so they can help you too if you need hands-on, one-on-one help, because right now we're not able to do that. So this is going to be the back carry. And I'm going to, so I just moved it to my back, just slided it back there. And I'm going to do a quick, get baby up here. I'm going to do one side, and I'm going to adjust this strap down so it's pretty snug on me right away. And then I'm going to grab my baby. I'm going to hold baby in a hip carry. Put my arm on baby. I'm going to take my opposite arm, swim them over baby. And then I will turn so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to put my arm through, scooch baby over, and then bring this strap up. There are lots of ways to get babies on your back. I have a whole video of them in our group, so if you're curious on other ways, let me know. I'm going to adjust this down, make sure baby's centered, and there we go. So thank you so much for joining me today. If you have any other questions, reach out to me, join the group. I'm always happy to help. Thank you so much, you guys. Hope you have a great day.